welcome to another episode of Community Conversations. And I'm sitting here today with Mr. Craig Scott at the Gadsden Public Library. And so I'm going to digress, even though I've given his name, and let him give his name. So tell us, Mr. Scott, a little bit about yourself before we dive into the library.
Gladly. Ruth, thank you very much for joining me here at the library today. My name is Craig Scott. Because I have one of those names, two first names, that a lot of people in town mix up, Scott, Craig, Scott, I would just call myself Library Guy. And everybody in town kind of seems to know me that way.
Yes.
So in this library, Ruth, that we're in right now, this library was built in 1964. But it's not the original library. Our original library was over on Forest Avenue and 7th Street, right across from the Rich Hotel, Doggett Tower, and sat right on the corner there, and opened December 20th, 1906.
Oh, wow.
So I guess that makes us, about 116 years old in the original building plus this building, 116 years.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's interesting. So I know it's a lot of amazing services that go on here at the Gadsden Public Library. I think it's one of our best kept secrets. So tell us some things about the library and some amazing stuff that you have going on here.
Well, first of all, this library is amazing, okay? And I will say that not just as director, but as a citizen of Gadsden. I should mention I'm originally from Michigan, and my career before library school and all that, I got a chance to work for McGraw-Hill.
Okay.
When I finished library school, I worked for McGraw-Hill, big publishing outfit, and had a chance to be in hundreds of libraries across the country. And I've seen many, much larger, much smaller, but for the size of this library and the size of our community, this is something that, as you said, is a hidden secret, but citizens should take advantage of what we have here. And it's not just a bunch of old books sitting on the shelves. Now, we do have a lot of books, okay? And they are well read, they are well checked out here, but the library is so much more than that.
It is. It is. So tell us about, I know you all had some classes. So tell us about those classes and some of the programs that are offered here, some things that people can get out and do.
So let's start, we'll go age-wise. How about that?
Okay, that sounds good.
So we have a very active children's department here, and Hannah Gray manages that department for us, and she has some wonderful programs for the kids. I'll mention two in particular. She has a story time on Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock every Tuesday, and it's for the little bitty kids. And Hannah does a wonderful job with that. We'll read a story, and then there's always a craft that they can do. I'll also mention another unique program that she does, and it's a reading dog, Ginger. And Ginger is a greyhound, retired greyhound, that comes in with her handler. And the kids, a little more reluctant readers, will read to Ginger.
Oh, wow.
And so it's they open up to her really well, and they'll go off in a corner together, and they will read to Ginger, and it's pretty special to see, pretty touching.
Okay. All right. Now let's go to the next age group.
So the age group now,
Yeah.
and folks that don't know the library well might be surprised to learn that we have 4 floors here. As you're coming in the entrance, you might think that there's only 2 floors, maybe, but we have 4 here. And the 4th floor is our young adult, our teenage department.
Is that Teen Zone?
It is the teen zone.
Okay.
They have since decided to change that name to the Teen Hive,
Oh, wow. Okay.
where everybody's busy, busy like a bee.
Okay.
And so they've come up with be safe, be good,
Okay.
be this, be that, and there's usually a word of the day. But it's up on the 4th floor here, which is accessible by an elevator.
Okay.
And the kids can make as much noise as they want to up there, because our 3rd floor is an off-limits public, not open to the public floor. It's more for the staff, where we keep a lot of our good old collections hidden away, locked up. And our friends of the library also have our donated books that come in from the community. To fill up our bookstore. We keep everything there, but it becomes a sound barrier for the 4th floor. So the kids can whoop it up there. But Hannah Stiglitz is our teen librarian up there, and she does a good job and has many wonderful programs for them.
Okay. Now, when I walk in the library, there's this, and I know about it, but I want you to share it. When I walk in the library, to the right is a place that I can purchase, like books that are these books no longer, they transition off the shelves and you sell them at a really great price, and I found some good books over there.
We do, and Ruth, I'm glad you mentioned that because we have a very active friends group here.
Okay.
And all libraries wish they have good friends like we do, but we call our volunteer group our friends group. And they are particularly well suited to handle our bookstore. And you're right, as you come in the library, just inside the main entrance is our bookstore run by the volunteers. And we get donations from the community, books that people cannot throw out. So they often will call and say, can we bring our books that we no longer need to the library? Sure, we will take those. And in fact, give a tax receipt for tax purposes, a donation. We'll give those to the folks, but we'll take any and all the books. And then we make a decision whether that particular book might go on our shelves to replace a used copy that might be in better condition or would fit into our collection. Now, we are not a research library,
Right.
okay? Not like an academic library. So some books may be too specialized or other books for whatever reason, and we have a process to go through. They will go to the third floor to wait for our volunteers to take a look at those, price those out, and then put them in the bookstore.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I found some good books over there, so I wanted to make sure I tagged that. And then another really neat resource, and I know that they are situated a little differently, but there's an eating place here in the library that people can come to.
And we are really, really proud of that. It's right behind us. It's right here on the first floor. It's our beautiful Rainbow Cafe. And when I say it's ours, we really think it is ours because we've gotten to know the kids, the students, so well. The beautiful Rainbow Cafe is really managed and run by the Gadsden City Schools, the high school. Chip Rowan, the instructor, does an amazing job. And it's for students with cognitive disabilities. They are learning a trade. They are learning how to run a business, how to run a restaurant. They help prepare the food. In fact, across the street in our park, Underwood Park, there's a garden over there where daily they will go over and pick vegetables, whatever the day's menu for that day is going to be. So they grow vegetables, they learn how to do that, and they learn how to prepare, how to greet customers as they're coming in, how to serve, how to clean up, do dishes, all that. And proudly, I think Chip's up to 36 now.
That's
have
amazing.
Graduated, and by graduating, it means that they now have good-paying jobs out in the community.
It's amazing.
It's a wonderful program.
Yeah.
I should mention that libraries across this country, many of them have coffee shops, or they have cafes similar to the beautiful Rainbow Cafe, but no library in this country has this kind of program working with the kids with some disabilities.
Yes.
It's a fabulous
awesome.
program for us. We're real proud of that, and it's gotten us, and of course the school system, it's gotten some great publicity. Chip and his students have won numerous awards.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let me ask you this. So let's say that I need to find some like demographical information. Maybe I'm going to write a grant. I'm looking for information to help support that grant. I'm a data person. I like looking into that. Do you have something here that people can come and tap into to get that data?
Very good. I'm glad you brought that up too. So not just books, but we have many electronic resources available. That in particular about grant writing, we have something called Grant Station here, and it's well used by the nonprofits in town. They can come bring a laptop here. We'll get them on Grant Station, and they can go grant hunting, and it will find not write and award grants to them, but it'll allow them the ability to find those grants that are out there with a lot of filtering that can be, by geographical area, by size, by whatever factor, food, poverty, whatever the issues might be. They can use that to find potential grants out there.
So, Craig, how can we keep up with you and the library and the things that you have going on?
Good, thank you for bringing that up. First of all, check out our website, GadsdenLibrary.org. We've also got five different Facebook pages. There's one for the main library. There's one for our East Gadsden branch. There's one for the Alabama City Genealogical branch, one for our children's department, and one for our teen department.
Okay. And if I'm correct, so I've gone on the website and it's a tab on there that has events, right? So
does.
no, it has events, but you also have the calendar for the month. So if a person wanted to find
Exactly
out what was
right.
going on, they could look at the calendar.
GadsdenLibrary.org. You get on our main page there. You'll see the events calendar. It's got everything listed, from our regular weekly programs like Story Time in the children's department to one-off programs. We have a folk singing group coming in on February 1st. In fact, they'll be in this room right here.
Okay.
So February 1st at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Folk singing. So all those programs
Exist.
will be listed on the event calendar.
And then one last thing, during disaster, you all serve as a shelter. If the shelters are open, do you serve as a, tell us about how you serve during disaster as a shelter.
Yeah, that's real important. So for the downtown area, the main library here is the main shelter, especially for tornado watches.
Okay.
So tornado watch is issued. I'll get the call from EMA and from the National Weather Service, and we open up the library, whether it's during regular business hours or at 2 in the morning. We will open up the library, and our basement becomes the shelter, and we will be here until the all clear is given.
Okay.
So
And do you take pets?
we do. So we do take pets. We do ask that those be on a leash. And all the shelters in Etowah County are listed on the emergency management website under Shelter Etowah. So you can go there and download the app, and when the library becomes a shelter, we turn from red to green. That means we're open.
That is awesome. So tell the people watching something that they don't know about Craig Scott. For those that know you, what would be the thing that they would say, oh, wow, I didn't know that?
Well, let's see. Going way back, I was a band geek, okay? And I played clarinet all through high school, and when I got to Michigan State University, I applied to be in the marching band. I was never big enough to play on the football team, but I thought, well, I can get close to the football team with a marching band. So I went and auditioned, and after I did, the band instructor said, Craig, you play very well, but we have a problem here. And I said, what's that? And he said, well, you marked that you want to be in the marching band. I said, yes, sir. And he said, well, we don't march any clarinets in our band. And I said, oh. He said, the clarinets and other woodwinds are too weak an instrument for this band. And we have a tradition, a kind of a military tradition, and the band just doesn't have flutes, woodwinds, clarinets, oboes, anything like that. And so I was crushed. And he said, I'll give you, though, since you want to be in the band, he said, I'll give you two choices. One is you can switch to a tenor saxophone, which has very similar fingerings to a clarinet, or I'll let you carry one of the Big Ten flags.
So which did you choose?
I went into my high school. I left that orientation session. I went back to my high school band instructor, and I said, Stan, you got to help me play the tenor saxophone. So I worked on that for a few months, got back, and in the fall I auditioned and made it into the marching band, and did that for 4 years, and then kept on with that. And so I guess behind the scenes, you asked what people don't know about me. So I'm a musician.
Wow.
But I guess hidden out there.
So where's the saxophone so you can play today?
It's at home right now. That's where it is. In my clarinet too. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I was a clarinet player.
Oh my gosh, we could start up
I was
something.
concert. Now in high
Wow.
school, I was in marching band.
Yeah.
Because they had clarinets in
Yeah.
the high school bands. But I was in concert and marching band. Yeah, I
Wow.
loved it. Now I probably could play some simple notes, but nothing major now. So yeah. Was there anything else you want to share with us today?
Well, just you mentioned music, and now it's brought up something kind of. This is kind of amazing. I'm going to talk about my youngest brother, John. And John's up in Indiana, works
Mm-hmm.
for the Indianapolis Colts and has been their equipment manager for years. John recently tried to retire, but the owner of the Colts, Jimmy Irsay, asked John to stay on and help become the archivist
Oh, wow.
for the team. So now he's in my world with
Yeah.
preservation. We didn't talk about that, but part of the library mission here is to preserve our history
Yeah.
of Gadsden and the county. But John's now the archivist for the Colts, and what Jimmy collects is Americana, but he also collects musical instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the kinds of instruments that we would have at our house. Okay?
Oh, wow.
So he has, for instance, the Beatles drum set, Ringo's drum set from 1964 on the Ed Sullivan Show that he paid $2.2 million for. And my brother is managing that,
Oh,
along with
wow.
many others. So that's kind of cool.
That is cool. And I'm happy to say that was before I was born. So,
Yeah.
you know, you
Goes
cherish
way
that
back,
as you
yeah.
get older.
That's
So,
right. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you today and learning more about you and about the Gadsden Public Library and all of the wonderful things that you can do at the library. You can come and eat here. You can come and research here. You can come and obviously read books here. You can bring your teens here, your children. So it's just something for everybody here.
Play chess on Saturdays. We have
Play
a chess
chess.
club of all things, and there's a walking club, and there's just numerous
Anger
things.
management classes.
Yeah, check
Yes.
out our website. That's gadsdenlibrary.org. O-R-G.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Craig, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
All right.